Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Get excited because our weekly news updates are restarting soon. But in the meantime, I wanted to talk to you about my Rise of the Resistance experience, reaction, and a little bit of info and tips on how you can get onto the ride. This video will include some day in the life style content as well as some commentary from me. I'm Courtney, the founder and one of the creators here at Just a Magic Minute, aka Jam, where we love to bring you all things Disney and theme park news and beyond. So let's just get into it. First up, I was able to ride Rise of the Resistance at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World right after it opened, which was amazing. I painstakingly avoided all spoilers and it was worth it. If you've somehow managed to avoid all the ride-throughs as well, stay strong and hold out. You will not regret it. I fully believe it made the experience even more amazing not knowing exactly what was going to happen. Speaking of spoilers, this video will contain no footage of the main part of the ride, but will include some footage of most of the queue, as well as some of the pre-ride instruction room and a teeny tiny bit of the initial action. I will be sure to warn you when any of that is about to happen so you can choose to skip or not. For the most part, there is little here that will spoil the main essence and highlights of the ride. So the first thing we did that was, in my opinion, a smart choice was staying at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. This allowed us to hop into the Skyliner only half an hour before park opening and head straight to Hollywood Studios.
Oh yeah, it does. You're right.
Ladies, gentlemen, and islanders of all ages, welcome aboard the Disney Skyliner at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. We're flying to Disney's Hollywood Studios. Whether you plan to visit a galactic outpost or play with all of Andy's toys, at Disney's Hollywood Studios, everyone can become the stars of their favorite cinematic stories.
That's the wind noise, y'all, in here. Oh, we are rocking a little. That picked up on camera. Oh, it was just Kristen.
Before you walk the red carpet, remember to double-check your FastPass Club collections using your My Disney experience. Ladies and gentlemen,
It's pretty empty.
Welcome to Disney's Hollywood Studios.
I think
This is our final
probably
destination.
mostly
All
park
passengers
guests
must
coming.
disembark at this station.
It's early.
Return service is available.
Not that I'm excited.
Thank you,
It doesn't work.
and we hope you enjoyed the most magical flight on Earth.
I wonder if I slip them a 20 if they can send the Skyliner straight to the entrance.
Right.
Please remain seated until the doors automatically
I'll
open.
see what I can do, madam.
When
just stand
exiting the
you some,
cabin, please supervise
propelling
children,
equipment.
collect your belongings, and
They're like,
watch
here's a
your step.
Segway.
Thank you for flying.
Well,
Instead of one of those like,
Wasn't what I had in mind, but okay.
air bladders that they have, people like jump out the second story window on fire.
It does come in hot and heavy.
Por favor, cuide
So we
sus
say
pequeñitos. Reúna sus
Thank y'all. So we had the Haunted Mansion wrap, which was awesome because that's our fave. All right, and so right now, according to the radar and the weather, it's not raining, but it outside says otherwise.
The footprint of this park is just a little smaller.
Well, and at least we just need to get to the entrance and then we're good. There we quickly went through bag check and got into the massive pile of people that was supposed to be lines but was really just a clump. It was rainy and humid, but we didn't care. My hair cared, I didn't care. I was the first of my group to actually scan into the park. So I already had the app open and just had to wait for the rest of my party to get in because you can't reserve a time until you've scanned your Magic Band and are officially marked as inside the park. Here's where we ran into our first problem. You are supposed to be able to check in your entire group as long as you are all connected via the My Disney Experience app. However, while I could see my party listed on the app, whenever I went to check them in, it kept giving me a message telling me that they were not inside the park, which they were. After a frustrating minute or two, I gave up and I told everyone to check themselves in individually. Now, I've heard that when you check into the ride, it's like a bit of a lottery system and you could end up in any group regardless of the order you got into the park. This did not happen with us. At 5 minutes past park opening, I got into group 71, my sister group 72, and my dad group 73. It definitely checked us in the order we clicked through. Being in separate groups from my party didn't matter because all of the groups overlap when it's your time to go in. So for us, we needed to wait for boarding group 73 to be called and then we could all go in together. Now, the amount of people in a specific boarding group has changed since we went. At our time, the groups were smaller, so there was more of them. I believe it went up to group 106 with the next 20 groups or so being on standby to get onto the ride, hopefully at the end of the day. At that time, standby groups weren't actually making it onto the ride most days, but now I've heard that they usually do. After being super stoked that we'd gotten in and had a middle of the day boarding group, we followed the crowd over to Galaxy's Edge to see if we could get on to Smugglers Run. This was a mistake and a great waste of time. Don't do it. By the mid to late afternoon and evening, the wait time for Smugglers Run is sometimes as short as 30 minutes. First thing in the morning, it may be as long as 3 hours.
Somewhere over closer to the entrance. We're not even sure where.
Oh, so you're saying this is still Millennium Falcon? I thought this was Slinky Dog. Holy crap.
Oh, it is Slinky Dog.
No, I think you're right. It's Millennium Falcon. So Millennium Falcon literally doubles around, comes into Toy Story Land. Knowing we weren't going to be getting onto the ride until much later, we headed back to the hotel and we're back in our rooms before 8. You may want to just stay and enjoy the rest of the park. This is just what we did.
It sure does. We have blah like mines
Ladies and gentlemen,
They just cut them all
welcome
down.
to Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. This is our final destination.
Before long, our number was getting close and we headed back via the awesome Skyliner to get on the ride that I had been so excitedly waiting on since the day it was announced.
Ladies, gentlemen, and islanders of all ages, welcome aboard the Disney Skyliner at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. We're flying to Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Thank you!
Now boarding group 69. Should have just left me.
Thank you!
Welcome to the resort. Oh, it's cute that they think there's going to be a fast pass and standby line at any time in the future.
One day. Ooh, Darth Vader's here.
You'll probably open one of those in Toronto.
Yeah.
They'll open the fast pass here.
Y'all, I'm so excited.
Well, Harry Potter kept that pace up for several years.
I'm so excited, I can't even
She had to pee before she went on.
I'm a nervous peer, I want to pee before anything important, like a movie or a show or a performance or an awesome ride that I've been waiting for a long time. Because you don't want anything to hinder your enjoyance of the ride. Okay guys, at this point I'm going to be showing you a good majority of the queue line. I don't think this ruins anything about the ride, but I'm going to let you decide if you want to watch it or not.
We got around to this edge and this negative side of like, hope you've enjoyed it. Wasn't it pretty? And everybody felt so crappy that they let the ride go. Everyone pretends somebody forgot to take them. I think they said they were going to Group 105. 106 and Okay. Really? Oh God. He was so sick. And then didn't he get sick too? I don't remember. I think he did. And I think it was just the two of you. Yeah, I do remember that like no one else.
To show you the PreWrite show, as well as just briefly a little bit of a room you walk through in the middle. And I say middle because Rise of the Resistance technically contains more than one ride experience.
From here on, I'm not filming.
BB-8. Prep the ready room for recruits. Commander 9-Num, please report back to ITS cockpit.
Thank you for joining the cause. A covert resistance team led by my friend Finn has infiltrated a First Order Star Destroyer that is now headed to this system. Your outpost on Batu is no longer safe. We have transports waiting to take you to General Organa's secret base on Vaca. I'll regroup with you there. The Resistance desperately needs your help in our fight against Skyliner and the First Order. Remember, it is vital that you keep the location of the Vaca base secret. Lieutenant Beck, one of our top commanders, will lead you.
Affirmative. Transport is ready. 9-Num and I shall personally see them delivered.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Welcome to the cause. May the Force be with us.
Commander Poe Dameron and a squadron of X-Wings shall escort us to the rendezvous.
That's really
And wow, this ride, y'all, this ride, it deserves all the hype, should win all the awards, all of them. When I got off the ride, a cast member actually told me I could close my mouth because my jaw had just dropped open and stayed in this happy, shocked, amazed expression. This ride is everything. I just couldn't believe it as it was happening. I saw things that some people missed. I'm sure I missed things that some people saw. The whole time I just couldn't believe what was happening. I couldn't believe what I was experiencing. This ride is the future of all ride experiences. It has been close to 3 months since I was on the ride and I still can't stop thinking about it. I'm a little bit obsessed and I cannot wait to get back on it. Rise of the Resistance is multifaceted, meaning you are going to get several different ride experiences all in one. It is overwhelmingly incredible. So gushing aside, you need to get on this. I highly recommend opting for the easiest transportation method, which is the Skyliner, if possible. If you can't do that, an Uber or Lyft would be a great option. I will say that the ride fills up quickly, but you don't necessarily have to get to the park super early. We sure didn't. That being said, your goal should be to be inside the park by the time the park officially opens. If you can do that, your chance of getting onto the ride is very high. You're gonna hear a lot of opinions about whether you should have the app open and ready or don't have the app open and ready. And all I can tell you is that it changes daily. Some people have one experience, other people have another experience. It's hard to tell, and any tips and advice you get that's like very specific is likely to change. So that being said, the most important thing, the most generic, helpful tip I can give you is to be inside the park by the time it opens. Don't stress about getting there super early, as long as you can get through. I mean, I was there literally just 2 or 3, 4 days, something like that, after it had opened. Super crowded, and I still got into the park right as it opened. Like, I was literally gone through we went through the queue line and the park was opening right then. So we cut it close a little bit, but we still did it only half an hour early. I mean, come on. And so while yes, you need to be there early, you need to take it seriously, blah, 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 it's not as crazy as some people will make it out to be. And I'm getting this from a lot of my friends who are doing this and have been doing this at different times. And they all kind of had the same opinion about that as I did. A lot of the problems that they've been having with boarding have been fixed or are being fixed, or like I said, might change. So that's just kind of a general tip I can give you that shouldn't change, which is be there at park opening. Be inside. Scan with your magic band inside the park when it opens. You're going to have a really good chance of getting onto the ride. And also, just to let you know, I have been hearing that people have not been having trouble lately being able to check their group in through one person, which is awesome because that's so much easier and it assures that you are all in a group together. And another thing I've been hearing is that at Disneyland, there has been more of that lottery system where regardless of the order you scanned in and got into the park, you could end up in any different ride group, which is really weird to me and kind of stressful because especially if you're trying to get onto the ride with friends and the group, the option to add people in as a group is not working right. But whatever, that's what I've been hearing. That could change. Like I keep saying, things change all the time. However, at Disney World, I've heard a few people say that, but then most of the people I've talked to have said no, they checked in and everybody was back to back to back. That's what we had too. So I don't know for sure. You could always ask a cast member. That's the one thing frustrating about this is that things do change all the time. But again, just be in the park when it opens. Good to go. The other thing I'm going to let you know is that when your group is called, the queue line to get onto the ride will be only about half an hour. So you'll have about a half an hour wait. This has been something I've consistently heard, unless the ride is malfunctioning or shut down or something like that. But if the ride is good to go, it's about half an hour to get on from the time you actually enter into the queue line. It is just such a neat experience. I literally can count the number of people I've heard who weren't just blown away by the ride on one hand, and quite frankly, those people I don't understand. I don't get it at all. It's always an opinion, right? But my opinion, and it seems to be the mass majority opinion, is that the ride is going to blow your mind. And even if you have watched the spoilers because you're weak, you were weak out there, don't worry, it's still going to be different in person. The trackless ride system, that is something you just cannot describe and understand until you've experienced it. I have watched some of the other trackless ride videos at different Disney parks, and I thought I kind of had an idea of how that would feel, but being on it is a very different experience. It's just this really free for all. The best way I could describe it is that I was telling somebody, you feel like you're on a ride, but also not on a ride. It's this thing in between. It's not it doesn't feel like, it's real life necessarily. It's not that extreme. You're not completely deluded into thinking that you are experiencing real life. However, the suspension of belief of reality is definitely there more so than on normal rides with tracks to me. It's just this really cool kind of upper level in between where, I don't know, it definitely feels more real than normal rides. And I really don't know how else to describe it. I really enjoyed it. I'm so excited for Ratatouille to open because that's a trackless ride. That's just going to be so neat. I'm a big fan of this style of ride. The last thing I'm going to tell you guys is, and this is what I believe about anything with Disney, theme park news, even in life, have a good attitude. Don't be one of those grumpy people that's lines and a queue line and everything is blah, blah, blah. No, don't do that. It's going to taint your experience. I mean, I know some of that stuff can be annoying, but just go in there with a happy heart. Go in there excited because I think the more positive and the better your attitude is about what you're about to experience, like the more your experience is going to be amazing, because you're just going to be in this good mental place. So that's some tip I can give you too. It's just, you know, believe in the awesomeness of the ride, and you're going to feel it. So, okay, that being said, I sound like an advertisement for the ride. I just really enjoyed it. I just love knowing that this is the future of rides. I'm just really impressed. I want to shake everyone who made its hand. I want to tell them good job. I want to tell them I know that sometimes the ride is breaking down and there's problems, but a lot of rides do that, and we'll fix it and it'll be okay. You know, it's always hard for these companies because they want to make sure a ride is perfect and it's never going to break down. But then everyone else is also like really grumping about the fact that the ride's not open yet. I always said that I don't care if the ride takes an extra 2 years longer than they said if it means they get it right. But there are a lot of people who don't feel that way. There are people who are all constantly griping, like, open the ride, blah, blah, blah. So new ride problems, especially with these really crazy, technically advanced rides, happen. One more important tip I can give you if you are traveling in from out of town is to schedule trying to get onto the ride at the beginning of your trip. That way, if there's a problem, if somehow there's a glitch and you don't get on, or part of your party doesn't get on, or the ride's broken down, or blah, 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 any number of things, you will have more opportunities to try again. Keep that in mind whenever you're kind of scheduling your days. Get on the ride early in the trip, just as a backup. Plus, even if you do get on the ride at the beginning of the trip, maybe you're going to want to ride it again. I know I did. I didn't, but I wish I had. Okay, guys, I know this was a super long video, and usually we try to keep things on this channel short, but there are just situations where it needs to be long and lengthy, so we can give you everything we can about the ride, the experience, blah, 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 blah. But yes, loved the ride. Loved the way it made me feel. I was so happy on that ride. I was just in it. I was living for it. On that ride the whole time, I was just like, with everything. And when you are on the ride, look around. There are even like people that I saw that other people didn't see. And again, I'm sure I missed something. Like, there's just stuff happening everywhere. So the ride can be a different experience depending on where you're sitting, which vehicle you get on, because there's two vehicles that kind of, you go in a pair with two vehicles. I mean, you have a different lookout from the point of view. I mean, all kinds of stuff. Just look around. Just let yourself fall into the experience. It'll make it better. Okay, guys, thank you so much for sticking it out if you've stuck around to the end of this video. Good for you. We really appreciate it. Please go and find us over on Instagram. It's Just a Magic Minute. We're there on Facebook, Twitter as well. Also, trip vlogs from this vacation are up on our main channel. If you didn't know that, we do have a main family channel. It's much bigger than this one, but this one will grow. We know it will, thanks to all of you lovely subscribers. But you can hop over to our vlog channel to see the whole trip there if you are interested. Thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you for sticking around as we took kind of a hiatus. We were deciding if we wanted to stay with YouTube or wanted to switch over to Facebook as our main platform, because YouTube is a little iffy nowadays. But we appreciate you sticking with us, and we look forward to getting back to a regular upload schedule. All right, guys, good luck getting on to Rise of the Resistance. Please let me know below if you have ridden it, or if you haven't, how excited you are. Let's talk about it down there. The ride's so great. The only thing bad for me was my husband didn't ride it. He was at home with the kids so that I could go and ride it, which is amazing. But it's killing me because all I want to do is talk to him about it because it was so awesome, and I can't. And that's hard. It's real hard, y'all, because the ride's so great. You just want to talk about it to everybody. You just want to be like, oh my gosh, and this part, and did you see this? So maybe, you know, whatever. Okay, thank you guys again for watching, and I will talk to everyone next time. Goodbye, guys.